This is in response to Dr. Paul Krugman's article in the New York Times on Friday, May 1st, 2015, Ideology and Integrity. And Dr. Krugman points out that the election in 2016, unfortunately, will probably be centered a great deal around personalities. But he feels, I feel, most other people feel it should be around integrity and the issues. Now, when we talk about integrity, we're talking about the fact that, well, as he likes to say, it's going to be about issues and not about personalities, or as I like to say in the spiritual world, it really should be about principles and not personalities. But the thing is that in every administration, and especially the one coming up after the election in 2016, whoever gets in, they are going to be confronted with facts that are going to conflict with their ideology. And the question is, will you allow the facts to trump the ideology, or will your ideology trump the facts? Now, and that has to deal with a lot of our preconceived notions about, number one, he talks a lot about admitting mistakes when you're wrong and moving on, and then never admitting mistakes. A lot of our friends on the Republican side like to never admit mistakes. One of the things that FDR talked about quite a bit was that you try, you fail, and you keep trying. You keep experimenting till you find the right thing. The example of that would have been Solera, which was the solar energy company that went down. I think the United States lost $500 million. But in that area where the United States was lending out hundreds of millions of dollars to companies as they would fast track it, they still made a lot of money. And that's part of the thing. When you have venture capitalists going out there, they've got a short period of time. They got to look at all the angles. They got to make a decision. They go in, they put their money in. I don't know what the percentages are. 1 out of 10 make it, 9 out of 10 make it, 6 out of 10 make it. They have to do it all based on that. But they don't know which one's going to make it. So they got to invest in all 10. Or let's just say they invest in 10 and hope that 4, 5, or 6 are big solid winners. But then the next time the money comes around, you go do it all over again. That's what FDR said. Or as I like to say, try, fail, try harder, fail harder. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Now, Dr. Krugman points out that also George Orwell talked about people who knew that they were wrong and that they were proven to be wrong, wouldn't admit that they were even wrong in the first place, basically saying, I never said that, which we see quite a bit with our friends on the Republican side, quite a bit about that. And it's really hard right now because our friends in the press play a lot of gotcha journalism. They always want to ask a question that is a gotcha type of thing, especially to Hillary, especially to all the Republicans coming up. They want to find something deep in the past, make them feel uncomfortable, make them sidestep the issue. But the thing is, what are your principles? What is your idea? What is your grand plan for living? How do you want to make this world a better place? That's not what we're seeing. What would you do with solar energy? What would you do with wind energy? Are you going to decrease the taxes? Are you going to increase education funding? These are the types of things that we need to see. And what are your specifics behind all of that? Now, Jeb talks about he's going to be his own man. But remember, for Jeb's foreign policy issues, he hired as his experts to help him come up with his foreign policy decisions or his foreign policy whatever his stand is going to be on foreign policy as he's running for president. He hired 21 out of his 22 foreign policy experts were from his father's or his brother's administration. And that's what he calls his own man. Hillary Clinton has recently taken a stance on trade that is against what her husband had initiated in the 1990s. Well, that can say a lot. That says that, trade is a lot different now. We have to look at it in a different way. We need to change because it's been 20 years. Maybe it worked. Maybe it worked for a while. Maybe it never worked. But she's taken a stand that, this is a time that we need to move on and to do something different. Are we going to see that from our Republican friends? I don't really know. Remember, our Republican friends talked about inflation, talked about runaway inflation, talked about all kinds of things with the debt, talked about that inflation was going to go up. Interest rates were going to go up. Have they ever admitted that they were wrong? No, they haven't admitted they were wrong. They still want to cut the federal budget 20, 30, 40%, thinking that's going to balance the budget, But the thing is, an election's coming up. what are we going to base our decisions on? Are we going to base it on personalities? Or are we going to base it on principles? Or are we going to base it on integrity? And the next president will be tested. Will the facts dictate? Will a president who, based on true facts, have to go outside of their ideological comfort zone to make changes because that's what's really, really necessary? And that's what we have to look at. We have to look at that. We have to look at the integrity of the next president. And I think I know where Dr. Krugman is headed with this. I hope the American people are headed in that same direction.